Hi guys, Dave here with a brand new lesson. Today we're going to look at the Police classic, Every Breath You Take. Before we get started on the main tune, I'll just go through a couple of things. It's played in the key of A. On the record it sounds like it's A flat. All they've simply done is detune the guitar a half step. Okay, that's the tuning, and as far as the sound goes, he's got a lot of compression on the guitar, chorus, a little bit of reverb, and there's a kind of a delay, and it's kind of set at like a kind of an eighth note kind of speed. So it sounds like it's kind of playing in time with the music. So just bear those sort of things in mind when you're setting up your guitar sound for this. I'm taking off the delay for now, just so it's a little bit clearer for you to hear what I'm playing. Okay, on with the main riff. He slightly palm mutes it as well, so he's resting the palm of his hand just very lightly on the bridge where it meets the strings, just to kind of give it a slightly more chunky sound. And he's probably using the bridge pickup on his guitar as well. Okay. Right, so the main pattern, it starts with this kind of sus2 shape. When you play the whole pattern, it ends up being A major add 9 chord. But we start with this to begin with. So that's 5 on the E, 7 on the A, and 9 on the D. And we're just going to play through the strings. The E, then the A string, then the D, and then back to the A. Like that. Then the second half of the pattern, he just moves his index finger over to the 6th fret on the G, and then we play the G string, D, A, back up to D. So the whole pattern. Like that. That takes up a whole bar. Okay, so he plays that pattern twice for the intro. Then he moves down to an F sharp minor add 9. So same shape to begin with. So we're now on 2 on the E, 4 on the A, 6 on the D. Play it in the same order as before. Then the index finger moves over to the 2nd fret on the G string. And we play through that pattern twice. Like so. Right. Then we get a D sus2 pattern. So now we're playing 5th fret on the A, 7 on the D, 9 on the G, and we play the A string, then the D, then the G, back to the D string. Then we're just going to swap the 9th fret for the 7th fret on the G string, and we're playing the G string, D, A, back up to the D. So we get a D sus2 pattern. Just for one bar. Then we take that whole thing, move it up 2 frets for an E sus2 pattern. That's just for one bar. And then we go back to the A pattern for 2 bars. So that takes care of the intro. The verse is very similar to the intro. The only difference is the first time round it's going to end on F sharp minor. I'll play through it. So it'll go A, F sharp, D sus2, E sus2, then down to the F sharp minor. It's quite a jump to get down to the F sharp. On the record you do definitely hear a slide as he's coming off of the E chord to get down to the F sharp minor. So a little bit of a challenge there. So that's what happens the first time around the verse, and then the second time he just simply ends on the A chord instead of the F sharp. So the second time round, F sharp minor, D, and then the E, and then on the A again. So that whole sequence is a verse. Right, the next section is the bridge. It's going to start on the D sus2 pattern. It's going to play it twice. On the record, it sounds different the second time only because the bass guitar goes down to a C. So you get this kind of effect. It'll sound like D on the first one. It sounds like that on the second. But it's only the bass guitar that's changing. The guitar just keeps playing that D sus2 pattern. So 2 bars of that. Then we play the A add 9 pattern. Then that pattern that we play for the A add 9, we simply take it up 2 frets and it becomes a B add 9. Play that pattern twice, and then we go to the E sus2 pattern. Again, that's just played for 2 bars, and that takes care of the bridge. Then it kind of does half a verse. So we're just going to play the A, F sharp minor, D, E, F sharp minor. And that's going to take you into this kind of middle section. So as he comes out of the F sharp minor pattern, he's going to go into kind of like a crash chord. So we're just going to play an F major, and just before the first beat of the new section, he does a kind of a down up down. So it kind of starts on beat 4, and it's like the last 2 16th notes. So it's like 4 E and 1. That's the kind of the count. It's quite quick. The chord is F. If you don't know F, it is a bar right across the first fret, and then we've got 2 G, 3 D, and 3 A. Like that. And you hold that for 2 bars, pretty much. And then we're going to move the whole thing up to play a G chord, and we're going to do the same thing. So just before the bar, you've got the 4 E and 1 to play the G. You're going to do that 3 times, going from the F to the G, and then once you've done that, you're back up to the A major. Basically, it's going to go through a verse section, but it's instrumental. There's no singing in it. There's a few R's and whatnot, but it's mainly instrumental. Then once it's done that verse instrumental section, it's going to play the bridge again. Then it's going to go into a final verse, and he's played around with the format a little bit here. It's like the first part of the verse. So you got the A, F sharp minor, D, E, F sharp minor. Then he takes those last 4 bars again, so D, E, F sharp minor, and basically he plays the F sharp minor 4 times. then he's into this kind of end sequence that you hear on the fade out, and that's basically just A, for 2, then the F sharp minor for 1, and then D sus2 for 1, and he just keeps going around on that sequence. And that's the whole tune, basically. Quite simple once in format, if you like. It's not overly complicated. The main challenge is being able to play the part. And I think the main challenge for a lot of people when I've taught this is the stretches involved. Andy Summers did like these kind of nice wide stretches. Probably my biggest tip for that is, as far as where your thumb is, that makes a big difference to how easy it is to stretch. So keep it fairly low on the neck, and you'll find you'll be able to open up your fingers a lot easier to get into these shapes. So do experiment with your thumb position on the neck. That's really going to be a big help, I think. As far as the way I normally spread out for these sort of shapes, I use fingers 1, 2 and 4, but I've seen other people use 1, 3 and 4. So if that's more comfortable for you, by all means try it. I just find that this way is easier for me, and especially when I'm manoeuvring my index finger around like Andy Summers does, it certainly makes sense to play it this way. Okay, well that's the end of the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you for one real soon.